Good day, good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you're at. My name's Kelly Kellam. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily live stream. If this is your first time, nice to meet you. If this is one of the many times you've been here, thank you so much for being around, being a part of our community. I'm going to go ahead and turn on this light as well. Hopefully, we don't have some of the issues that we did last time. There we go. Some of the issues we did last time with the camera. I'm not really sure what was going on there. But I restarted my computer 11 times, threw it on the ground, did a seance over it, and resurrected it back to working properly. So hopefully all's good. Let me know if audio, visual, if everything's looking good. But yeah, how's everybody doing? How you feeling? It's Monday morning, March 6th, 2023. And if you're tuning in today or at a later point, I do want to just shout out this stream will absolutely be something that you can watch at any point in the future, as well as today. There's going to be some stuff that will help you see what's going on with the markets today for sure. But more specifically, there's going to be a lot of concepts and a lot of just sort of general guidelines and strategy that you can utilize regardless of what day you're watching this. This is meant to be something that can be useful, and you can refer back to it in the future, even if you watch this today. I want people, this stream is meant to help provide people the tools and just the knowledge and the understanding of what's going on in the market and what's the understanding of what's happening, just within the charts with TA, with on-chain data, general guide, general checklist, a good strategy that you can utilize so that you can master these charts. I'm going to go ahead and adjust my camera angle just a little bit. We can go, ooh. And for Matt C, I just want to point out Matt C from my long times past. If we look back here, I was in Atlanta for about a month, and that money tree was kind of struggling there for a little bit. And that might be why the market was down. I've been watering it, getting it super healthy. It's looking back to being quite healthy now. So I think the markets are kind of set to do what they need to do. Again, my name's Kelly Kellam. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. It's a wonderfully easy way that you can help support the crypto community, not just this channel, because the more we get engagement on these sorts of crypto channels, it allows people to be exposed to it, because YouTube works on engagement. And the more you engage with this channel, hitting that like button, subscribing, dinging the bell, showing YouTube that you are interested in what's going on, learning about crypto content, it really does help. And again, I also wanted to shout out all of these socials right down here. Make sure you check out bitlabacademy.com. I'll pull that up a little later, but we're going to just get right into it today. We're going to be talking about what's going on in the market and how we can navigate. For anybody that's just jumps in and all they want to do is get rich, well, you're missing a huge point. It's like if you ever watched Karate Kid when you're, years ago, there's a pivotal scene early on, very pivotal scene when all Daniel-san wanted to do was master, the martial art that he was trying to learn. He wanted to just jump in and do it. Well, that's not how things work. I was a professional guitarist and singer for years as well. I toured as a singer-songwriter, and I remember people asking me all the time, but what's the trick to be able to play guitar like that? What's the trick? They thought I was going to tell them one nugget, and all of a sudden they'd be some incredible guitar player. Well, that's not how it works. You know what the nugget is? This is true for anything. The nugget is time. Time invested in something, and the openness with your mind to accept failure along the way and not see it as failure, but see it as a learning experience. When I lost $70,000 in the market early on, when it was the only $70,000 I had to my name at that time, and I got greedy, I was like, I'm going to leverage trade, and all of a sudden I'm going to be rich because I did a bunch of spot trades that were good. So now I'm going to leverage trade, and I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm sure all of us have stepped into that sort of silly sort of charade in our past before, because we weren't humble. We need to be humble when we address these markets. We need to understand that time is our best friend. Not only time and time and investing our energy into being in the charts as much as we can and learning and all these things that are attributed to putting time into something as you grow. But also time is very important in letting certain trade setups develop. So that comes back to patience. If you're not willing to be patient, then your bank account is not willing to have money in it. Bottom line, you've got to be patient. You've got to put in the effort, and you're here. So you're already on the right step, whether you watch my show or you watch Frankie Candles or you watch BitBoy or you watch Eric Crown or you watch Tom Crown or you watch, there's Jason Casper. There's so many people out there. There's so many resources. You might like some, you might hate others, and none of that matters. What all those people do is they provide different perspectives on what they think is going on in the market. And nobody's right. I'm not right or wrong. Ben Armstrong, BitBoy's not right or wrong. Frankie Candle's not right or wrong. All of us are sharing our learned experiences over time that have or have not worked for us. We're trying to share that with you all so you can sort of shortcut what goes on in the market, so you can hopefully step out of the path of failure that just demolishes you. The point here is time and exposure. You want to expose yourself to different voices. You want to expose yourself to different people within the market. And so that's one of the things I want to commend every single buddy here in chat right now. Put a 1 in chat if you've been here before we had 1,000 followers here on the channel. We've been doing this stream for about 6 weeks now. We're growing. I can't believe how fast we're growing. It just warms my heart. But if you've been here with the stream from the start, throw a 1 in. If you started within the last, if you started in February, put in a 2. And if this is your first time here, put a 3. The whole point of this is to build community together. So I'm going to be sharing some of the experiences I've had that I've learned from, a number of different very successful traders. And myself, I've been trading all the way started back in, I think around 2011 or so, doing just traditional assets, also doing penny stocks, just not understanding what I was doing, but taking shots. It wasn't until I took the time to have the patience to go, okay, maybe I don't know how to do this. Can I learn? Can I accept the failures I've had? And can I utilize those failures as ammunition, as something in my tool belt of, if you make an error and you do it again and again, well, then no offense, you deserve failure. And I deserve failure for many years. And all of us need to get past, we need to get past that. We need to accept our relationship with money. And if we want things to change, we have to change our relationship with money. And the only way we can do that is by changing what actions we're taking with how we're managing our money, how we're picking certain trade opportunities. Are we jumping into them because we're scared we missed the move? Or are we patient enough to see a green candle and go, oh, I missed that move, but I'm going to be patient. I'm seeing this target as for it to come back to, and allowing the charts to develop to come back to it. So with all that being said, I'm going to shout out some people in chat because we've got such a wonderful community here. And again, I'm going to keep harping on this, man. We get quite a bit. We get, anywhere from 2 to 5,000 viewers every stream here. And about a little over half of you all are not subscribed to the channel. Come join our community, man. Don't think of it, you're just joining us here at BitLab. You are strengthening the crypto ecosystem by being a part of these sorts of communities. Hopefully I'm not just talking TA at you, just giving you targets. That's not what this is about. Some of the targets I will absolutely acknowledge on screen. I will point them out. But the point of this is to, basically teach you to harvest rather than just giving you a piece of corn or rather than just giving you a steak. I want to teach you how to, I want to really give you the strategies and the understanding and the concepts to understand what's going on in the market. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ding that bell. Do the crypto ecosystem a favor. Now, shouting out to all the people here in chat. We have some wonderful people. We got Mr. Scott Rogg was the first today. Crypto JMP, Alex Green, my number one man here, Crimson Caravan Company, a mellow fellow, Justin Umix, all these people that have been here from the start. Alexandra G, we got Gia S, what's up, all the way over from the Crypto Jed family, been coming along for a long time. It's nice to see you here. Mike Volmer, what's up? Good morning to you. Who we got? DJ Lavish, I love that because whether or not you all know it or not, I basically made a living as a DJ for about 15 years, traveling the the country and the world. It's actually how my wife and I met. We were DJing at a festival together. So shout out DJ Lavish, shank and bake, shake and back. I like that. DJ Lavish, Eric Brubaker, what's up? King Peasant, Matt C, Jeanette. We got so many people in here. Shout out to Matt C. He's always it's been a part of my community here through multiple channels I've been on, and just good friend. We've been to conferences together and everything. He's really, really wonderful soul. If you guys ever have any questions or need an ear, Matt C is a great guy to chat with. So I'm just going to move this along. Granny's Garden, what up? So shout out to everybody. Let's go ahead and get this stream going. And again, I hope you're all well. I hope the drop didn't come out of nowhere for you and it wreck your portfolio, because if it did wreck your portfolio, then that means that you are not practicing risk appropriately. And that's what we're here about. We're here about, it's okay if we mess up. You know, I lost every dollar I had in crypto years ago. And you know what? I stuck with it and I learned from it. And I call that crypto tuition. You know, I made stupid decisions. Does that mean that this isn't for me? No. The actions I was taking before aren't for me. We have to let go of what we did and say that, not that, oh, I always do this. Take that language out of your head and you say, I did that before, but now this is what I'm doing. Okay. We always want to grow, and it starts with the language that we have when we talk to ourselves. Born to Fly. What's up? Rob, Crypto Snob, Broke Toshi, No Dinero. I love that person's name. So shout out to Brokoshi, No Dinero. I love it. Sounds like a cake song or something. All right, let's go ahead and get this going. So how's everybody doing? How you feeling? Where are you tuned in from? Let me know. What city, state, what's your born on date? I like to do this as regularly as possible so we could pull that community together in chat. Sometimes, you know, you might make a friend in the city you're in. You can do some crypto meetups. You could talk shop. It's all about community here. It's not just giving signals. No, let's learn together. Let's grow together. So let's go ahead and move this forward. I do want to shout out that you do need to come over here. Make sure, easy way to support the channel. Of course, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. That's very helpful. But come over here to BitLab Academy, which is at Academy BitLab. Come over here and share these tweets in the morning before we go live. Get other people in here. Help them learn. The stronger the ecosystem is and smarter, meaning people can navigate the market and not just get eaten live and lose money. The second somebody enters a market and then a week later they lose everything they had, it's going to be a long while before the people in their life, their family members, their friends are going to be interested, because they look at it as a scam, because people are navigating the crypto industry with retail mindset, with dumb money mindset. All of us, me included, we have all been in a position where we were dumb money. And you know what? We are not dumb money anymore. We are learning, we are growing, we are adjusting course, and we are doing things that can make us profitable over time. So come over here and share this if you would, if you got Twitter. Let people know what's up. And then, of course, come over to check out my profile here. I share a lot of stuff on my profile. I reference a lot of stuff here on the channel too, from charts I do. And that's me. I just want to make sure you're not following any of the scam accounts. So it's at Kelly Kellam, Kelly Kellam. Now, I'm not going to go through a bunch of other Twitter charts and on-chain. And no, we're going to talk about strategy to understand what the heck is going on in the market. And regardless of what's going on in the market, there's always an action plan that you could take for you to either get out of position to be in more of a position of safety, or take advantage of a position, whether it's a short to the downside or a long to the upside. So today is going to be very lesson focused, while also looking at charts of what's happening in the price action today. So go ahead in the chat right now. We're early in the stream. I like to give everybody an opportunity a little bit to, especially when they're early, the early comers, the people that are focused on growing, you know, not just showing up, not just showing up when the prime rib is served, but you're there to commiserate and build community. You're here early in the chat. Let me know some of the charts you're looking at, some of the coins that you're interested in. I'll try to cover a few of them if we can get to it at the end. We're going to use some of these same strategies to sort of identify what's going on. Now, of course, I'm going to go over that in a second. So before we get into what the checklist is, we've always got to do something when we come to our charts. We always have to have an agenda that is set, a plan that takes us through what we need to do to form our sort of understanding what's going on in the market. It doesn't matter if you looked at it yesterday, the day before that. You always need to make sure you're humble, remember, and give yourself a sort of check-in with what's going on with the grander course of the market. So what I want to do here is I'm going to go over here, and I have to find it because I kind of put it off onto the side. No, hold on, there we go. So this is what I want to, we'll address this in a second. This is what I want to identify right here. We want to identify, let me turn off auto. Okay. This is what we want to identify. This is what a good checklist for any trader or investor, more on the trader side, but especially investor, you need to check in with this. And I've talked about this before with the macro, midterm, micro cycle, looking at the grander context, the more local context, and then the very small time frame context for triggers. So what we want to always do, number one, when you come to your trading terminal, when you come to your trading desk, when you're trying to determine what you want to do, is you want to always look at the landscape, the broader market context. Okay, this includes coming over here, looking at what's going on with the NASDAQ. Okay, it looks like we found support. We're coming up. This is, showing that there's some risk coming back into the market, meaning that the investors are okay to put liquidity into the market versus taking it out to protect it. We can also see the S&P 500 here, a bounce. It's a pretty significant downtrend line, broke out, pretty clear bounce. So setting this as support now. So what we want to make sure on this is if we do option F, bring this down here, we can kind of zoom this across. We could see that we are coming up into a pretty contested zone right now. And this is going to give us some indication as to what's going on with the traditional market. So this is part of that understanding the landscape, understanding the context. Yes, I'm talking about Bitcoin and crypto, but in order to get a sort of window into, Bitcoin and crypto, I need to look at what the general landscape of the investing environment is with traditional assets as well, because this gives a good indication as to where the context of what people's sort of perception of risk on or risk off mentality is for markets at the current moment. And we could see this is getting some pretty strong push up, but we are coming in pretty close right here. You see, this is the golden pocket, the 0.618. Now, again, if you have not done this, come over here on the left-hand side, and if the third one down, if you don't see this, press this little arrow and just put a star on fib retracement, and you'll get the fib retracement. And what I want you to do is draw it on the chart. Now, double click on the fib, and make sure you can change any of these. Make sure you have 0.618 and you have 0.65. This is your golden pocket. Now, if you want this to be very colorful, you can just turn up the background. I like mine to be very clear. You can also turn off any of these if you don't want, if you don't want certain ones on here. You can make it just a golden pocket if you want. I generally use a lot of these, so these are the ones I have up. So now the reason you want to do this is because this, when we're looking at the landscape and the context of the markets, we do see a bullish impulse here. Sure, we see a bullish impulse. What's up, Johnny Jackhammer? How you doing? And thank you, Lady S&T. My biggest goal is to provide alpha for people that have been here for a long time, while also breaking it down so beginners can understand. There's no point in just talking to people that have doing well in the market. We want to make sure that people do well in the market, and we're bringing people along that path so they can do well too. The more of us do well in this market, the more of us that do well in this market, the easier crypto adoption is going to be, because the more of us are going to have wonderful rags to riches stories that we can share with our family, and we could support not only our lives, but our helping our families' lives along, and share some of the things we've learned with them so they can do the same thing. That's what this is all about. This is for the growth of the crypto ecosystem. This isn't just for BitLab Academy daily stream. No, we have a full BitLab Academy private sort of paid membership program that teaches a lot of this stuff and is broken down step by step. But we also thought there's no purpose in doing that if we're not also helping the community as a whole grow. And this is why we started this free channel, BitLab Academy, so we can provide, bridge that gap from beginner to pro. And if you want to go deeper and you want to learn more specifically each lesson broken down, then head over to BitLab Academy, because we've got so many amazing updates about to come. But to continue on here, we always want to, it's good to pay attention to this right here, this golden pocket, which is this 0.618 and 0.65. If I zoom in on this, you can see this little pocket right here. And large in part, a lot of times when you have a push up, or in this case, a breakdown, there will be a bounce up at least very regularly, about 80% of the time, to this level. And this can be a rejection zone that comes back down. So this is a very clear sort of tool for us to use to see, is there going to be bullish conviction to continue on upward? If this meets this, there will likely be a small pause. As we can see, the momentum has already shrunk a little bit, but we still have quite a bit of the day to go. If this does break through this, then this is a further indication that it's likely that the bullish continuation is going to happen. So here we're looking at our landscape, right? That this is the whole point of this. Looking at this. So now what I want to do, we also see this here. This is already pushed up even more. Got another 1.3% to go before we find resistance on the Dow Jones. But now we can look more specifically. This is a broader context of the markets. Then, of course, we want to come over here and look at the USDT dominance. Okay. We want to look at, we can always look here at the dollar index as well. This is just a DXY. And I mean, look, just like I just said, we could see right here, look at this golden pocket right here, 0.618, 0.65. Look at where this rejected from. This is just like I was just saying, very regular point. So it's good to know also, when you're thinking about the landscape, when you're thinking about the context of the market, when you're thinking about, is the trend going to reverse? Is, oh my God, I thought this was going to continue going down. Now it's a bullish reversal. Well, you're always, when you get any sort of move in the markets don't go like this. Moves in the markets go up. They either go sideways or pull back a bit and then continue the upside. Similarly, when they come to the downside, they come down, like we can see right over here, coming down. Okay, and then we'll get a little bit of a retrace, and then decision point, and then it either breaks back as a reversal to the upside or rejects back to the downside. So this is what we want to understand when we're looking at the context of the market. So we're looking at the dollar, we're looking at we're looking at S&P 500, looking at Dow Jones. This is just giving us a broad view of the landscape of what's happening in the market, okay? Now, in this case, this is breaking down, and this is important because this talks about liquidity sort of in the market. Is if the DXY, if the dollar index is pushing up, that means there's sort of bearish pressure on the markets because money's coming out of assets, money's sort of going on the sidelines rather than staying in investments. So this going up right here, if you think about it, if we look at what happened to Bitcoin, I'll go over that in a second. If you think about what happened to Bitcoin over the last few days, we had a bit of a pullback. Well, the dollar index was pushing up, and so too was the S&P 500 and Dow Jones. They were having a pullback until this has started to reverse. So golden pockets give you a lot of great sort of utility for context about, at least minimal levels when you're going to have a push down and then a retrace. Is this a retrace or a reversal? Look at these golden pockets. If we break through them, then it's much more likely that it's a reversal to the upside versus just a relief rally and then continuation to the downside. Now, continue on. I'm liking NASDAQ pushing up like this. I'm liking S&P pushing up like this. But now we want to look at, as I said, the S&P 500, the USDT dominance. Okay. We want to look at this because this is more directly related to what's happening with the crypto asset space. We're looking at this because, as I've mentioned before, and I'm just trying to really make sure, because I know myself, I need to hear something 11 times before I even go, oh, I get it. So I'm just re-emphasizing this, especially if there's anybody new here. It's very important to understand that the USDT dominance, which is think of it, it's not all stable coins, but this is the US dollar tether. So when money is in the crypto ecosystem, when there's capital, I should say, not money, when there's capital in the crypto ecosystem, and there's, people are moving, they have a bunch of dry, as Will Clemente calls it, dry powder. When you have a bunch of stable coin on the sideline you're trying to figure out what's happening with the market, where the interest is in the market. Is it risk on, meaning they're trying to get back into positions and take advantage of movements in the market? Or are they trying to protect their capital and move them, for instance, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, AVAX, it doesn't matter what the asset is. Are they moving into those assets, which in this case, that would mean that the USDT dominance, which for this chart, it's USDT.D, which is just like this, USDT.D. This is the the tether dominance right here. And when there's money coming out of crypto assets, going onto the sidelines, people are sort of trying to protect their capital. They're uncertain about what's happening in the market. Then this will be going up. And what did we see the last couple days? Okay, the last couple days, we saw a pretty stiff move downward. Now, there's two things that we could take from this. We can see we're still looking at the landscape here, which is the first step in the checklist. For this asset, this is a bullish formation because this is a descending wedge. And of course, it broke out. So this was also indicating to us, just looking at this alone, that the psychology of the market was about to be, for holding assets, was likely about to break bearishly, because this is a bullish formation. So if this is acting bullish, then assets in the crypto ecosystem will be acting bearish. Now, if this is acting bearish, meaning this breaks down, then assets in the crypto ecosystem will large in part have bullish price action. So as we can see here, I have this marked right here, green and red. USDT dominance moving down is directly correlated to liquidity pouring into crypto markets. So that is if when this is moving down like this, okay, or down like this. Okay, now, and I'm going to point you out something I have shown you before, but also look at this. If USDT is pushing up this dominance, this is correlated to people moving out of crypto positions back into stables, holding their money on the sideline, protecting it for a better opportunity for an entry. This is bearish for crypto asset prices. Now we can do another line just like this, and we're going to make this red. Now, look at how this directly correlates. I'm going to zoom out a bit. Look at how this directly correlates to Bitcoin price action. Let me go zoom in right here. So we see as USDT dominance went down, what did this orange line do? This is Bitcoin price, went straight up. Look at this, as USDT dominance went up, look what happened to Bitcoin price, went straight down. So this is an excellent metric just to give you a general, if you don't look at anything else, if you don't look at any of the traditional assets, if you don't look at the dollar index, I beg you, I implore you, I encourage you, have this chart saved in your little list over here. You can just, if you're not seeing this, what you do is, it might look like this. When you come up here on the top right deal, pull this little line down, and then you can press this arrow here, and you can add USDT.D, enter. Now you can hit the plus sign, and then it'll be in your list here. You might have to find it, and you can click on any of these, by the way. You can click on any of these and move them in whatever order you want. But using this gives you a good idea, and do some TA on it, do some patterns, find your trend lines. I'm going to mute this, the Bitcoin price. Find your trend lines, because if we're seeing this in the USDT descending wedge, which is basically a bullish setup for this asset class, a bullish setup for USDT dominance is a bearish setup for crypto assets as a whole. So we want to pay attention to this. Now, one of the things that happens very regularly within the crypto ecosystem is fake outs. Fake outs to the upside, fake outs to the downside. Let me make sure I can see my thing. Fake outs to the upside, fake outs to the downside. And so this very well could, and we're starting to see it a little bit right now. I'm going to come back down here. we're starting to see there's a little bit of a pause here. What would be excellent for us, and we can't count on it happening, what would be excellent for bullish price action on Bitcoin and crypto is for this to come down and then break down. Well, we don't know that yet. We cannot trade on hope. We cannot trade on what we want to happen. We have to trade on the charts as they develop. We can be prepared for both directions, but we need to trade on the charts based on how they develop. Now, coming back over to this right here. So now the second step in our checklist is environment. We need to understand what's going on in the environment. And I've talked about this before, the macro, the midterm, and the micro. So we need to understand, of course, what is our strategy? Okay, what is our strategy? Are we trying to catch a bottom to trade it all the way back up to the top? Are we trying to catch it, somewhere down here, and we're trying to exit somewhere, somewhere in this region up here? Well, if that's the case, then there's no need for you to also be staring at a 3-minute chart. You're going to give yourself a heart attack. If your strategy is to find an entry that's a good accumulation zone entry, because based on previous price action data, based on on-chain data, based on long-term holder realized price, based on all these different things that you can utilize to build your tool set, to build your analytical tool set, to feel confident about entering trades at certain locations, and your time horizon is, could be, 3 months, 6 months, a year, then there's no need for you to be staring at a chart 100 times a day on a 15-minute chart, because it does nothing for you except for confuse the living hell out of you. Don't do that. If your timeline is long period, then you should be looking at the 2-week, weekly, 3-day, daily. And then if you're trying to find a specific entry because you want the best within that long-term time from context, then you can go down to the 4-hour and wait for the setup on the weekly. And then you look at the daily to see that setup, and then you wait on to the 4-hour to see those things line up again. Then you have agreement across multiple timeframes. You have support for the long-term on the weekly. You have, on the smaller time frame, you see your data points lining up. And I'm going to show you what I mean by those data points lining up here in a second. And then you go to your smaller time frame to get the best out of those moves. But if you're trading for, a long-term position, you don't need to find the 3-minute chart to find the best entry. It's because you're going to see chop, and then you're going to get in, then you're going to get out. And you need to have conviction with what your plan is. And that moves into the next plan, which is have a plan. And that means understanding that you're letting patience dominate the narrative. You're waiting for things to line up across your macro, your midterm, and your micro, meaning your large time frame, your medium time frame, meaning medium time frame being anywhere from 3 day down to 4 or 8 hours, and then your micro is anything under 4 hours. Your 2 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute, 24 minute. So understanding that you have patience and relying on your patience, because I've said it before, I'll say it again, planning and patience equals profits more times than you can count. The problem is you can have a plan and you can have the patience for the plan to set up, but you didn't have your execution in place. You didn't have your limit order set to where if you're hopping in a car to go somewhere and all of a sudden it's going and then you see you're missing the move, so then you jump in, but then the price reverses because you jumped in the middle of the move. Well, then you just completely remove this whole sort of nature of having a plan, because now you're acting outside of your plan. You want to have a plan and stick to it. And if you miss a move, you didn't miss a move. You just weren't there to take it when it happened. There's always going to be more moves. There's always going to be another opportunity. And by trying to jump into a move, without it meeting all your criteria and without it being at the price level that you set, then you're not really paying attention to your plan, because that means you failed this fourth step, which is removing emotion. If you're jumping in because you feel like you're missing the move, then you've just negated everything you did before that. You just deleted everything, all the goodwill that you did towards yourself. You're making progress. But if you jump in because you're emotionally fearful, then none of those steps 1, 2, and 3 matter. You have to be patient, and you have to stick by your plan and hold to it. Okay. Now, how do you remove emotion? Well, just like I go through in every stream, I talk about what's going on with the Dixie. I talk about what's going on with the S&P 500, with the NASDAQ, with Dow Jones. Then I come over here and I'm looking at, the USDT dominance. This is before I even go to look at the assets that I'm considering trading. Is there a move? Is there not a move? What's going on? I look at this just like I'm talking about. I look at my landscape first. If you were a soldier, you don't just run out on the battlefield and then, okay, what are we doing? No, you sit there with your team, you formulate a strategy, you figure out, you identify where there could be certain pitfalls in your strategy, where there could be issues. You plan for these things, and you do that by utilizing your landscape, and then utilizing, after your landscape, then your environment. And then you say, okay, well, what's my plan? Okay. What's my, how can I remove emotions? Well, you remove emotions by stopping looking at the price action, stopping going, oh man, it's moved $100. I mean, Bitcoin is, $22,250. If it moves $100, that's nothing. That's such a minuscule percent. Don't worry about it. I mean, look right here. People thought they missed a move, and it went all the way from 3,500 all the way up to 13,230, 13,500 somewhere. I can't remember where the top of this was. Somewhere in that region, 13,500. But then everybody's like, they missed a move and they bought the top, and then when they bought the top, because they're emotional traders. If you're buying a top, you're an emotional trader. And that's okay. All of us have been emotional traders. You have to accept that and then figure out, boom, right here. You have to figure out, what is your plan? What is your plan? You need to have a plan. And when you have a plan and you're looking at your landscape, your environment, you have a plan, and then you say, okay, how can I utilize data to support my plan and inform me, to give me some leading signals? Using data would be akin to somebody using binoculars on a battlefield and seeing something coming before it's even really a threat. That's what using data in fundamentals is like. So in order to do this, it's stuff like, I don't know if you all saw, but I shared this chart this weekend, these two charts. And I talked about how basically, as an investor or trader in Bitcoin, on-chain data is an incredible tool to understand the behavior of different types of market participants. Short-term holders buying while long-term holders are selling shows weakness coming into the market. This most recent drop was foreshadowed in these two charts. So this is short-term holders, weak hands. So buying, when this is green, this is short-term holders buying into this strength, okay? And look at this, buying into the strength, short-term holders. So what are short-term holders? Weak hands, okay? Weak hands are buying, and the more weak hands you have at a level, the weaker that price action level is. Now, if we come to the next chart, we can see, look at this. This is complete opposite. Look right here, okay? Same spot, weak hands buying into this. Long-term holder, strong hands taking profit into this. They're taking profit from the weak hands. So all these people donated their money to somebody that was smarter. And I don't want any of you to have to do that. We've all done it before, and sometimes you might fall victim to doing that. So similarly right here, look, reducing their supply to who? Weak hands buying the top. So we could have foreshadowed this by leaning back into our plan by using fundamental data. Now, if you're invested in other assets like DeFi or anything like that, I did a pretty, I don't remember if it was on this channel or not, or it might have been in BitLab Academy, but a good example of this is Lido. We look at Lido. And I hadn't even looked into this when I had done this video, but looking into Lido, think about what price action was doing in all of 2022. Okay, if we come to DeFi chains, want to go to, here we go, Lido. Okay, now we can go down to, here we go. So we could see all of 2022. Look at this. Huge increase in TVL on Lido in 2022 while the price action was going down. Okay, we come down here. We go to, where is fees and revenue? Okay, so if we look at 21, so we go into 2022, we're seeing from July onward, the general trend in fees and revenue. Fees meaning if there's fees being generated on an asset, that means it's being used. And if fees are going up, that means the use case is going up. So we can see that during a bear market with price action falling, we could see an increase in utility on this asset. So whether you're using on-chain data to track something like Bitcoin or Ethereum and behavior of participants, you can also use something like DeFi Llama to track the fundamental data about what's going on with the certain asset classes or with the certain assets that you're looking at. We can come over here, DeFi overview. Let's go to, yeah, I mean, you can see where, let me go back to the main page. There we go. Chains, here we go. So, okay, now we see Ethereum's dominant. We can come down and we can see how much total value locked is on any of these different coins. A lot of people have been talking about Arbitrum. I don't even think it's available to buy. Yeah, let's look at Optimism. Optimism's been in the news a lot lately. So, okay, we could see that Optimism is getting a sharp increase, and I mean all the way back here, 57 million in total value locked, as we see right here, meaning coins being staked or things being locked within their smart contract protocols. We could see very low, 62 million, all the way over here to $1 billion. This is a pretty strong fundamental growth on this asset. So despite what you might feel about something, and this is why people say, avid traders, experienced traders say, you don't need to necessarily look at the price of an asset. You want to look at the fundamental data, the fundamental growth, the adoption rate of wallet addresses, the number of, how fast, the fees on chain, all the total value locked. Look at the growth in the asset itself in terms of the use and adoption. And that gives you an idea to then, if things are in line with what you're looking for, then you come back over here, you say, okay, I've removed emotion, price has fallen, it's a scary, but the adoption rate's going through the roof. There's new wallet addresses every day. There's total value locked's gone up, 50x. So this is something that I can start identifying using my charts, my technical analysis, when I can enter this asset. And then of course, technical signals and multiple confluences. You're not just using RSI. You're not just using MACD. You're not using, even if you're using the BitLab trading stack, you're not just using the market intelligence with divergences or significant movement or the relative extrema. You're utilizing all the signals and the data that you have in context with each other so that you can utilize it. So that you can take it, so that you can prove or disprove a theory. If you're thinking it's going to go bullish, and only one signal, one indicator says that it's going to go bullish, then, and you have 5 in disagreement, then you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot, because you want to have I like to call it a 1, 2, 3. And I really like to have a 1, 2, 3, 4 points of confluence. You have your sort of leading signal that allows you to look for another point of confluence, and then 2, 3, 4. Whether it's RSI, stochastics, MACD, or bullish divergence on hidden volume, and then significant movement being blue or red, depending on if you're going up or down, and then the divergences on market intelligence. But then, of course, you want to look at volume. Volume gives you a lot of indication. We're going to be jumping here into the charts in a second. Double check your checklist and pull the trigger when all the things line up with what you've done. So that's what I've got to say about that. And the last thing I want to just sort of highlight here, and this got all messed up. Here we go. Is I want to make sure before we go any further, we're going to look at the charts here. This is just a general, I'm not suggesting any of these particular projects, but I'm giving you an example of a portfolio breakdown that that is a balanced portfolio sort of example that gives you an indication of, healthy ways to balance a portfolio. So you have broad exposure to different things in the market, roughly 50% between major coins, whether it's all Bitcoin or Bitcoin and Ethereum. This could be divided in half, or even Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, being a third, something where you have very strong assets in the top of the market cap rankings, holding the majority of your portfolio. And then you can break down the rest in whatever way you see fit, but having exposure to different elements of the market, being interoperable coin like Cosmos, Atom, having Oracle like Link, having a DEX project like Uniswap, then also doing things like HBAR, Phantom, another layer, another smart contract sort of solution, the Graph, Optimism, Filecoin, Sand. I have GRT twice. I must like GRT. I did DCA into it earlier this morning. So Gala, Engine Coin. But you're seeing we're having layer one, we're having storage, we're having gaming, we're having gaming engines, we're having AI, having a broad array of stuff in your portfolio. And based on how big they are in market cap, you can kind of divide down how small they are. You're not going to want to have 80% of your portfolio in, Singularity or the Graph. While those might be great coins, it doesn't do well for good risk management, because if something specifically bad happens to that sector of the market or to that project, then your entire portfolio is decimated. So it's good to have a good sort of division. So that's what I wanted to share about a general sort of checklist, good risk management within your portfolio, having healthy diversity, and having the more risky plays, which are coins that are, out of the top 50 or top 70 on the thing. The smaller the market cap is, and you could tell that by looking at coinmarketcap.com or CoinGecko, then the smaller sort of allocation it should have in your portfolio, because those very small market cap coins, if you only have 1 or 2%, if they fail, it doesn't really affect your portfolio. If they explode, that 1 or 2% allocation might turn into 40% of your portfolio, at which point you take profits and reallocate that into other assets within your portfolio to balance your risk healthily and make money along the way. All right, now we're going to dive in and look at what the heck is going on, because we've been talking, baby. Everybody, give a shout out to everybody in chat. Just really appreciate y'all being here, learning. It's not always about giving you the targets. It's about giving you the tools. This is about the tools. So everybody, hit that like button if you have not yet. I dare you to hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. It really does help the channel. Trying to get this over 75% of the people watching are subscribed, so we can build that community. This is all about community. Sometimes it's all price action, TA, giving you signals. Sometimes it's lessons, because you need both. You got to wax on, baby. You got to wax off. So let's go ahead and wax it on right now. We're going to go ahead and look over here at what's going on in the chart. By the way, at the end of the show, I do have the free giveaway from the newsletter signups. So if you haven't yet, make sure, I'm going to go off my screen real quick. Make sure you go to bitlabacademy.com. Make sure you go to bitlabacademy.com and you sign up for the email, the newsletter right here. I'll be sending one out today. But when you sign up for the newsletter, you also get entered to win 1 free month of access to the courses and the indicator. So I'm doing last month's winner announcement at the end of this stream. So check that out and check that out. That's all I got to say. So now let's look at the charts. What's going on? Okay, we're on the 3-day. Now, what we want to do, we're looking. We got our macro, right? We already looked at our landscape. We got that down. Now we need to look at our environment. So this is a macro. We can come down to the daily. Now I want to pull up the just traditional charts here, traditional indicators. So now we see that here on Bitcoin, we are, somebody said we're getting a push. Well, we're getting a little bit of movement. And this can be expected. We have a strong section of support that we've formed right here, which is right about basically about the $22,300 level. Now, what we want to do, if we're trying to figure out, okay, this is breaking down, should I be fully prepared? Is this going to continue breaking down? Well, now what we're doing is we're looking at the other part of that checklist. We're looking at our technicals, our indicators. We already saw our data. We already saw what was going on there. So now we can jump to that portion. And what I want you to notice is if you're falling down here, as we can see, the falling started here, and we can see this dotted line go all the way down the screen. As this moves across, this stochastics fully reset on the bottom. So this means that there's the fuel for the push down has, I don't want to say entirely exhausted, but it has gotten to the point where it is resetting. Not only is it resetting, it's finding the support level right here. So this could have been a good indication that on this level, we were going to find support. And then now we have room. We look right here. Look at what it did last time. We were right in this zone here. And then look, cooled off, found some support, bam, rocketed all the way back up to the top. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to do that and just poof, all the way back up to that top. But what we can say, what we can infer, this is just looking at the daily. This is resetting here. Now, if we zoom in on the RSI, let's go ahead and do a trend line here. We got a bit of a wedge there. Now, okay. Bit of a wedge there. So we want to see the RSI to come back up, and this would be important to break back above this 50 level and continue up. But as it stands right now, this is looking rather healthy for a push up. Now, if we zoom out on this right here, we could see that this also found support right here on this volume shelf on the VPVR. So now what we want to do, we did the macro, the midterm. Now we're going to look at we're going to look at a little bit smaller time frame. We're going to look at the 4 hour. This is the EMA ribbon band. And as you can tell here, I have the 20, 50, 100, and 200. And this is below all of them as it just broke back above the 20 here. But what we're seeing here, we're finding support, but what's a little concerning just for the moment is that the stochastics have already gotten up pretty high, and we haven't really made that much of a move. We do have a volume shelf right above us and this descending line of resistance. I'm going to mute this. There we go. We have this descending line of a resistance, but what do you also notice? What do you notice? What chart formation? Put it in chat. What chart formation are you noticing that, of course, we have the support, but what is this chart formation right here? And is it bullish or is it bearish? Let me know in chat if you know. We got to start testing you guys, see if you're learning here. So we got this descending level of resistance. We also have this level of support. We found support here, bounced, and we're kind of trickling sideways here. So what is this? This is inherently a bullish structure, which also, because this is a descending wedge, it's also coming into the support right here. So we can see that there is some indication that this at least will come up and test this. Hopefully it doesn't test this and continue on back down. We don't want that, do we? We're ready for price to go up, baby. So what we want to see is for this price action to come up here, test this, maybe sort of trickle into this wedge and break out to the upside, or maybe just come up to this and continue on to the upside. So what we can see here, if we expand our MACD, we're on the 4 hour. This is getting a little flat. So let's come down. Let's get more resolution. And we do that by going down to the 1 hour. So now we can see, okay, the stochastics have kind of topped out here. We're hoping that this can just, hopefully this can just remain a little overheated in this level for a second and let price naturally come up. But what I want to do is also come over here and look at the BitLab trading indicators, see what's going on. It gives us a little bit better of a clue. So this was looking a little overheated, as we could tell right here with these sticking out they're sticking up outside of this. As you see this cloud, they're sticking out, meaning that move is not a healthy move. It needs to cool off a little bit. And it is. We have two bearish divergences, as we can see right here. But this is also looking, here we go. This is also looking bearish, meaning that we're having maybe a likely trend top. It doesn't have to be, but what this is suggesting is exactly what we just saw when we were looking at the stochastics being overheated. This is like stochastic MACD and other momentum indicators. When you see this red, this is saying that in consensus with multiple momentum indicators, it's reading all those and saying as a general consensus, momentum indicators are overheated. When we're seeing this blue, this is when they're generally basically undervalued, underheated. So what we're seeing right now on the 1 hour is looking like, man, we're also fighting this level right here. So let's go ahead, let's go down to the 24 minutes, see if there's any more clarity. Yeah, it's looking like it's struggling at this level right now for Bitcoin. It's looking like it's struggling right now. And there's a lot of pressure between this descending level and this ascending level of support right here. So we really want to see what happens. We really want to see what happens and pay attention in this zone. If we lose this level, I would not immediately just cut and run. But what I would do is pay attention of, these higher lows, and in this zone, we can see we do have this level of support down here. So this zone right here is a likely fake out zone to the downside, to where we basically bear trap and then come up and break out. I could very well see that happen. But I would be looking conservatively if I were to play this. If I were to play this to the downside, I would conservatively be looking at something once we break down here, getting some sort of test and breaking below about 21.8 would be me looking for further downside targets. Now let's go ahead and look over at our sister over here, Ethereum. So we could see with this, I'm going to sort of mute the 4MA. We don't give Ethereum much love lately. We got to give Ethereum some love, baby. So let's do that. So we can see right here, massive descending level of resistance all the way back from November 2021. We're just now getting up, touching it. A little bit slower play than Bitcoin was to get up to this level. Bitcoin's already broken its level and retested. So we can see right here, we did have a little bit of an ascending sort of position. We have broken out of it. This is a smaller time frame though. So what I would want to see here, if this does get lost, is finding support on the 1278, 1255 sort of level. But then in addition to that, we can do an option F, do a Fibonacci up to the top. And that level would be basically about 1350, 1360 level to the downside. But the Shanghai update just got sort of delayed. And so I think until April. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. Now, this is a very similar structure as we saw with Bitcoin. Option T, we can kind of option T. Let's see. There we go. So we got a bit of a channel, slightly broadening channel with, no, it's just a channel with Ethereum. So yeah, this is sort of all hands on deck, being patient to see what happens with Bitcoin and other stuff. But if we look down here at the stochastics, this is turned up sharply. If you can see that, it's turned up very sharply, indicating this is right at the support level. So this, I'm looking today to see what happens in this zone right here. If we break out, or if we come up, get rejected, lose this level, and then continue to the downside. That's what I'm seeing here. And we're utilizing all the things that I was talking about when we were looking at I don't know where it is. I hit it somewhere on here. But when we're looking at basically your checklist and utilizing all the things that you want to check. So that's what I got for Bitcoin and Ethereum, and utilizing your checklist. And I will say on both of them, when you're looking for a setup, we see right here on the daily, if we're trying to wait for a trigger to be pulled, we have the stochastics reset all the way at the bottom. We could see that the MACD is starting to roll. So now if we came down to the 4 hour in the same time frame, what you would want is on the smaller division of time frame that you're looking at. If you're on the daily, if you come down to the 4 hour, you want your stochastics reset also. You don't want to take a long on a daily when your stochastics on the 4 hour are all the way at the top, because that means there's probably still some room in the interim, in the small amount of time frame, for the price to pull back a little bit. You want this reset as well, and it's even better if you come down there then on the 1 hour and you get across multiple time frames, your stochastics are fully reset. That is amazing. If you're looking at the BitLab trading stack, you want to wait until, okay, we're on the daily. Okay, we have gray right here, but we do have this sticking to the extremas sticking out to the downside. So we want to see the best option. It'd be nice to have a blue signal here. If not, then definitely a gray. And then if we come to a smaller time frame, for instance, the 12 hour, we have blue, then that means that we are starting to set up to see that trend bottom. We did have the blue, it's gray. So things are not looking like a full setup here, but we do have, look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4 bullish divergences. And then we come over here on the 12 hour. We did get some bullish divergences. We had the blue. So we're starting to see the signals line up across multiple time frames for an upward push. Now, getting back to the charts, or away from the charts, we have a winner to pick. So remember, everybody, if you have not yet, get over to bitlabacademy.com. I do this once a month. Come and sign up, put your email here. We have a newsletter that goes out about once a week, and I let people know what's going on within BitLab Academy. I do some charts, some signals, try to walk people through some stuff. Just, it's a free newsletter. You get entered to win. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to pick the winner right now. We're going to come to, let's just do it on this page. Okay. Now what we're going to do is, I hope you can see that. I think you should. So I'm going to pick the winner right now. I got to figure out where that page is. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right, this is the winner for the one free month. All right, I will be emailing you TB7684118. I'm not sure why that these names are quite funny sometimes for stuff, but I'm going to be emailing you. This is you're going to have 1 free month of Academy and 1 free month of indicators. If you don't claim it within a week, I will be giving that away to somebody else. So with that being said, I hope everybody, remember, go back to this stream, check out that checklist, copy paste it on your own, adjust it to your own liking. And the whole point of this is to navigate this market healthily. I do think there's still a possibility for some downside. However, us holding as we've held, we're also set up in a very similar way that we had in 2019 before a massive breakout to the upside. So you need to look at things, have directions planned in both directions, or have price action options in both directions with what your targets and what your strategy is. Look at data in addition to price. Be patient. With that, that's all I got. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being my friend. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Hope to see you again and again. Adios, muchachos.